guys together this way,
Guys, can I get you in the second row? There we go.
Center, please. Right here, please. Up top, please.
Well, the words, I am Dracula, I wanted to channel a little of the Transylvanian voice, but by and large, my favorite Dracula is Christopher Lee, who has a British sound. My father was the biggest influence for Dracula, who had a mid-Atlantic sound. What I didn't want to do was have a goofy Transylvanian sound in the role, so I thought my father, whom I channeled in a little movie I made called Vampire's Kiss, was a great starting point for the way this Dracula speaks. You know, let me explain something to you, okay?
Mr. Renfield, welcome. I am Dracula. You will make a very good assistant.
Obviously, you go back to the novel a lot to figure out how Renfield began as a character and as a person, and then the 31 film is brilliant because Dwight Frye's performance is so iconic. So stealing things from that when I can. I love his laugh, obviously, and that's such a piece of the character, so trying to pepper that in. But then this is also 100 years later, so I mean, that's very kind of you to say that they feel like bookends, because it's then thinking, you know, how have these characters developed over that time, and that's what I love with what Nick did to it. You know, he brings a lot of these two characters, you know, they're together, but they love each other, and they also are tormenting each other, and there's so much hurt even in Dracula for what Renfield does to him, trying to escape him. So there's a lot to unpack emotionally, I think, between them.
God bless you, Mr. Renfield.
Oh, God bless you, nuns.
You're a hero.
Robert Montague Renfield. I think for Renfield, when he's first under Dracula's control, there's a wildness and a craziness to him in the novel at times, where he's kind of losing a little bit of his senses. And I think for this story, I think he's that crazy. It's like the beginning of a love, when all your chemicals inside of your brain are playing up and you're not really sure what's going on. I think that chemical release has died down for him, so he's more subdued than those roles.
Well, I think it was more just really trying to find the tone. I'm trying to find this bullseye between comedy and horror, which I don't think has been explored that much. I was often thinking about American Werewolf in London, and that's a bullseye Chris McKay and I really wanted to hit. So I was always trying to be conscious of the tone of this particular piece. It's an R-rated fantasy, but it's hilarious, and that's a balance that you have to find. And thankfully, Nick is someone who has tremendous wit and comic timing, so we were able to riff off of each other. I was always thinking about that.
Together this way, please. Right here, please.
I saw the old ones, but also I was a Mel Brooks fan, so I saw like Dracula Dead and loving it. So Leslie Nielsen was like a version of Dracula for me. But like you see the Bram Stoker stuff, you see sexy Draculas, but for some reason Leslie Nielsen is the one that I probably saw the most, because I was watching Spaceballs and I was watching, you know, Young Frankenstein and stuff like that. So my correlation with it is I was always kind of afraid of horror movies, so I would kind of keep them at bay until I got older, and then I started downloading all of them in my brain. Yes, that's Con Air, Face Off, Raising Arizona as well. But then also when I got older, Adaptation was enormous. I remember it's one of the very few movies I've ever in my life finished it and then go, whoa, 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 and started it from the beginning to see what I can pick up on now that I kind of know what the film is about. But he's a movie star. I mean, there's not as many movie stars anymore, you know what I mean? There's big vehicles, but it's like, there's not as many movie stars. I remember a couple like actors that are really established are like, because there's so much social media and you see everybody and stuff like that, but man, he was it for us. And I remember I did a show with John Malkovich, and we got John Malkovich to watch Con Air with us so we can ask him questions during it, and it was the best thing in the universe. It was heaven. It was amazing. And I don't think he had seen it since the premiere, so it was amazing.